Insanity, insanity, whatever happened to humanity?
Gal Guardian's Demon Purge is a 2023 2D side-scrolling game that has been developed by Indie Crates and is also based on a galgun series and is also a spin-off. In order to save their school after it turns into a massive demonic castle, two demon hunter sisters slash and shoot their way through hell to save their friends.
Those victims be saved.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Go hide somewhere safe. Thank you.
Only Shinobi and Maya can solve the mystery.
Let's do this.
Okay, I'm mad. I'm mad, but I'm not showing it because it's hidden by so much like amusement and amazement at the same time because I'm a fan of galgun. I love galgun. Galgun is cheeky, it's wacky, it's over the top. It's an ecchi game that ecchi fans should have in their library. You think Shinra Kagura is something that should be most? Oh no. You buy galgun, then we have a conversation. But one thing that threw me off guard is that the developers and the publishers wanted to take a whole new engine trope turn. And this is what disappointed me. Not disappointed me, but yeah, it disappointed me because I did not know that they made a game called Gal Guardians. You went from a first person shooting women naked to a 2D side-scrolling demon hunting game, hack and slash. I'm very mad because I did not know this. I didn't even know this. Now, normally when people do this, developers do this, you are really running the risk of throwing your fans out of the window because you're really switching up your game. So how is this game? How is Gal Guardians Demon Purge? Well, we got the sequel that just came out, and that is called Servants of the Dark. I can see why that sequel came out because Demon Purge was fucking good. It was entertaining. I loved it. And I'm still currently playing it after I beat it. It's a very, very, very good game to play. And I highly recommend anyone to buy these first before y'all play this one. But either way, you are still going to be satisfied. The game takes place pretty fast where Maya and Shinobu is in high school, dealing with their high school lives, talking to their high school friends, and Corona is at it again with her pranks. Now, for people who don't know Galgun, how the premise of Galgun starts, it all starts with Corona pulling a big prank in high school, and she's a demon woman that is just going around and just pulling tricks on people, like a little bit of a parent trap little broad. But I guess instead of making all the girls love Honey and you have to use a gun to, you know, not kill them, but just calm them down, but she literally turned the whole school into a demon fest. Yeah, the joke's on us, right? So she's like, look, no more ecchi, no more this, no more penny dropping, even though we do have some ecchi elements on this game. But Corona just wanted to just go into a whole bloody guts to ship on here, and I was like, wow, Corona, you're tripping. And this is when you begin to not play as Honey on this game, but you begin to play as Maya and Shinobu as Demon Hunter. Now, I know what you guys are gonna say Where's the dialogue? Where's the pacing? How they become demon hunters? How they defend themselves so quickly? It's a fucking game, 2D game, over the top. If you haven't played Galgun, you are not gonna understand how wacky the choreography is. So at this point, you have to understand that it's going to be lacking certain materials because they know that people like me can dismiss certain things because we know what this game is gonna have. They're professional demon hunters. As soon as the demon purge starts, they just becoming professionals, and I like it because you're fighting your way, you're trying to defeat these monsters and bad guys, and you're trying to find your friends that's around. And I like how they did not go completely away from the Galgun games. They actually put some familiars on this game that really made me point at the screen a lot. Like, hey, I know her. She was on Galgun. Okay. You rescue these girls and they end up coming they begin to show up in the project as cameos by showing you like, look, I'm fine, I'm cool, I'm not dead, but I'm willing to help you girls out. So it was a good moment for me to be like, man, like I'm feeling young again to play this. You know what I'm saying? Now, as for the combat is great. I like the combat maneuvers of this game. You have Shinobu, who uses a gun for far range maneuvers, and then you have Maya, who uses close range by her using a sharp weapon, which is a sword or I think it's a sword or maybe an axe or maybe it's a switchblade. I don't know, but far range, close range. You can even play this game with 2 players. I would not mind playing this with another player. I should ask my wife if she's willing to play this type of game, but I don't know. I might make her play Galgun. But the combat is immersive, it's engaging. I've seen critics saying that the combat is not as fluid, it's not really as balanced. I had no problem with it at all. Like, the combat didn't really pull me away from the whole set piece of the 2D project. No, like, it was very tacked on. It was very, immersive, especially when I was fighting these bad guys and these demons. When I was fighting certain demons, they made me switch up a lot because there were some demons that had shields, and I was like, all right, I gotta use close range, I gotta use Maya. And there were some demons that kept spamming in the freaking sky, and I had to use Shinobu. And the bosses was pretty freaking cool too, man. There was some bosses that would transform, shapeshift. There was plants that I had to kill. Like, it was very it was very immersive. Like, this game was like literally giving me feels of Castlevania, man. Castlevania that's like an ecchi. It even gave me some feels of Mega Man too when it comes to me finding certain collectibles and certain items just so I can make my character even more stronger and more powerful when it comes to me coming across demon activity. They went all out with this game when it comes to the side missions, certain things that you're doing, collecting this whole project, and above all, making everything come in a whole closure aspect of you wanting more and having the replay value very high. Now let's talk about the things I did not like about the game, and this is gonna break my heart. The soundtrack. The soundtrack is good. The soundtrack is not bad. It's good. But it's an over-loop soundtrack. And now, with 2D games, you always get an over-loop soundtrack. Up to 2, maybe 3 minutes. It depends on, like, the memory output of the game, how much can they carry over when it comes to the audio. I can tell that the developers was rushing this game out the door because it's only a 20-second track on each level, so the music is easily repetitive. And at points I had to mute the game because there were times I was stuck in a level and then the music would really get on my nerves. I was like, oh, come on. The music literally made me more frustrated than me fighting the enemies and the bosses, even though I was dying a lot at times. And let's talk about the voices. Let's talk about the voices of the characters Maya and Shinobu. Now this game was in English, which surprised me because when I played Galgun, it was defaultly in Japanese. But they made this one in English defaultly. You can change this in Japanese. But I wanted to stick to the roots. Because by me playing this on English for a good little while, I wanted to just relive that Galgun aspect. So I went to Japanese and I made a big mistake. Now, it's a double-edged sword. With English, the characters only talk when they're interacting in combat, but they're not interacting in cutscenes. So you have to read the cutscenes as the project continues of you coming across certain scenes of the whole game. That's the bad news for those who don't want to read that much, or who is looking away from stills, cutscenes, and they just want to hear what's going on. The other double-edged sword is Japanese. It's pro-Japanese. What I mean by that is the girls don't just interact in combat, but they also interact with the cutscenes too. So you actually hear a voiceover in the cutscenes as well. Regular actresses from the original Galgun series is what I'm essentially saying. But their combat interactions is very, very annoying. When I was streaming this game and I just kept attacking, kept getting hit, I was losing views on my stream because of how annoying these girls was. And they it wasn't like they didn't give me no type of cooldown of the interactions. You know how when you attack on a game and then they would do a certain grunt, or they'll switch it up, or they just won't say nothing within a few seconds, even though you keep spamming the same move. Every single time you press a button in Japanese, they're gonna say the exact same thing, and I wouldn't say that's a flaw if you can just cut down the audio of the music, and if you can just cut down the audio of the characters. But no, you don't even have an option to do that. You have to sit and you have to deal with it. Did I do something wrong? Why am I getting punished? I felt what the fuck, are you crazy? You could not have played this game and not realize how annoying that shit is. I hope that's not in the sequel. I hope to God that's not. But other than those two things that I mentioned, the two issues, please don't let that dismiss you of you trying this game out. This game is a must-have. It's a must-play. And so are these. I don't know how much these games cost now. They probably cost an arm and a leg now on eBay. But I would just download them. These, the Gal series is great. And by being made by indie company, I understand the flaws that is on these projects, but it's not enough for me to overlook them. But still, if you guys like 2D, you guys like ecchi, and above all, if you just like flip games that has a very good price and you want to escape that 70, 80, 90, 100, 110 ratio of games that doesn't even deserve that fucking price, buy this. This game is only $10. And stay tuned for my review of Silver to the Dark that's coming next week. I'm going to have to give Gal Guardian's Demon Purge a B-. I think that's a fair rating for a game that I enjoyed in fair basis. This was a game that caught me off guard because I know that this game came out already. But at the same time, I was still pleased and I was still overwhelmed of how much I was enjoying this project. Again, a very big recommendation to my fans or newcomers to knowing the whole Galgun project to begin with. Well, looks like that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for my upcoming reviews and videos headed your way. This is your critic teacher, and I hope you all have a good day.